Necesitamos música. When I grew up and I was taking Spanish in school, they teach Spain Spanish. I don't know what the right word is. Spanish, yeah. But then later on in life I had a job and I really learned Spanish, but I spoke with a Mexican accent. So it's funny because I hadn't thought about this type of Spanish in a long time. But I just made friends with this woman very recently in New York from Catalonia. And it's really great hearing her accent again. It's very different. But in just what she's told me and from what I understand, like people go out very late here. Like the bars close around 2 o'clock and then they go to the club and they're out till like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock or... That's amazing. Like in New York, it's like, it's late, but at 4 or 5, it's like done. You know, everyone's just really drunk and like trying to go home, trying to get a taxi. Like it's kind of sloppy, messy. I just played in Tokyo and the crowd was so respectful. Very stereotypical sort of Japanese idea of respect. But like I was DJing and then when I would play my own song, the crowd just went like nuts. Like they really responded, hands in the air, like yelling, and that was just like really cool to fly halfway around the world and get that reaction. And I played in places like Italy, in Milan. I played this gig where like unless I was just going no one was dancing, you know what I mean? Like, so it's, I never know what it's gonna be like, but it's very different everywhere I go, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think you run into a problem when you release with lots of different labels. It can become confusing for your fans in a way, or just for people in general to like keep track of where you are because they're used to going somewhere. Although the internet is so fast these days and so connected, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, as much. But it's interesting you say that I'm hardworking. I feel like I've fooled everyone into thinking that I'm hardworking because, I mean, I get up at like 10, I have some coffee, I make some music, I stop, I play some video games, I have lunch with a friend, I come back, make more music. Like, it's not, my friends that have real jobs, like a 9 to 5, that's hardworking to me. Like, yeah, maybe I'm working hard, but like, I'm very grateful and I realize how lucky I am to be able to do what it is that I do. Yeah, because here, and it brought me here. Yeah, this is working right now. But this is pretty cool working, you know what I mean? It's not like, I'm not in an office like looking at the clock being like, when can I get out of here, you know? I don't want this to end. I want to stay here for like a week, you know? So if I didn't release as many records, let's say I did 1 record a year, I think the records would seem very different from each other. But because I put out like 6 records a year, they're like these baby steps becoming different and different, you know what I mean? And like you can see like, oh, I started doing house about a year and a half ago and there was like 1 house track there. Then on the next release there was like 2 or whatever that became more influenced by house. Like you can sort of see like the gradual change in a way, you know? It's sort of like that. It's like this, a lot of the new songs I'm making are like 8-9 minutes long with like a couple different parts in them and like sort of like houseier, but all sample based, like Herbie Hancock samples and like crazy percussion samples and stuff. So I think it'll be different from any other album I put out. I think it's the best music I've ever made. It's weird because it's all like influenced from, it's gone back and forth across the Atlantic so many times, you know? It's like, whether it started, the debate of where a certain type of thing started is kind of futile because it's always like been influenced by what else has been going across everywhere else. Like it'd be interesting, like before the internet, it'd be interesting to know like when a certain musician started making a certain type of music, was it after they just took a trip to Detroit? Or after a Detroit guy came to London or something, like, and they saw what it was like in another club? Because they didn't get it right away on the internet, they had to go see it for themselves. So, I don't even know if I'm answering your question anymore, but I just think like it has a lot to do with both. So yeah, to answer it, I mostly listen to UK stuff, but that's also very influenced by American music as well. You know, like grime has a deep affection for like gritty rap and hip hop and R&B from America, you know? And there's artists that are working with it, like, it's not Wiley. Who is it? Tinchy Strider or Skepta working with Puff Daddy or someone like that? Like there's, or Jay-Z. I mean, I'm probably making this up, but there's the names. But like, there's people that are definitely working with each other now from both sides of the pond in a lot of ways, you know.
In the bit you wield your sword, making all your sense black out, drumming out the scene to strike one more score.
It's really good. With her vocals, it's great. But it's so different from the original. It might actually work as a single, having like the instrumental and the vocal version as well. I don't know. I actually need to email her because she just emailed me asking me something. So, and it's funny, like 3 or 4 people have asked me about her, which is really great. Like she's done tracks with a bunch of people, and like what I would really love to do is stop being so selfish and just produce for her. Like all the people she's worked with, like Vexed and Milanese and Ataltech and myself and Blue Daisy, I think we should all stop doing our own music and like make her produce an album for her, because it would be so sick, and like she's got such a voice, and if she toured and sang live, like it would be amazing. It'd be so great. She needs to do that. Yeah. No, different ones. Yeah. I can't believe I just showed that. My mom's gonna be like, what? No, she knows. She knows. She's seen it before. She hates it, but she's seen it.
Can you afford to offer it all up or not? Speaking of need, there is no room